everybody to the Economist webinar today, held by the Tucum High School chapter under Tucum. And we have today with us three guest speakers who are all in the field of economics, who is Professor Mehmet Yaya, Ms. Özge Genjalp, and Mr. Cem Tekeshin, all come and sacrifice their hour to come speak and give valuable insight to our high schoolers today in this webinar. And so we want to welcome you three and thank you for coming here and educating us today. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting. Thank you for arranging and planning this.
It's a pleasure for us to talk to you guys.
Definitely.
Of course. So before we begin, I just want to say that we have a series of 9 questions that are going to be asked, one each from a different high schooler that we have here in our Tucum High School chapter. And they're going to ask the questions, and we request that you answer them in 1 minute per panelist per question. So we have enough time to cover all the questions and to get some additional questions from the chat that people might have. So, okay, and let's get into our speaker introductions. So I'm going to introduce each of you today who are speaking, so our audience knows who the panelists are. So we have Professor Mehmet Erdem Yaya. So he was born and raised in Turkey. He completed his bachelor's degree at Boğaziçi University before he moved to the United States in 2003. He obtained his MBA from Auburn University, then received his master's and PhD degrees from the University of Alabama. He moved to Michigan in 2009 and is currently the professor of economics and interim department head at the Department of Economics at Eastern Michigan University. His research focuses on immigrants, income inequality, and poverty, and has published a number of articles in well-respected academic journals on these topics. Professor Yaya, do you want to introduce yourself and give your introduction?
I mean, you covered everything about me. It's a pleasure to be here. And I'm going to talk a little bit from the academic life of being economist. We have Cem and Özge here. They will talk about the private sector and being an economist in private sector. So I'm glad you put together a nice panel that you can see a flavor of different types of jobs that economists are doing.
Yep. Our second panelist is Ms. Genjalp. Özge Genjalp is a certified public accountant CPA and has a capital market board license. After graduating from economics department at Bilkent University, she started her career as a tax consultant in PricewaterhouseCoopers in banking and capital marketing team, and involved plenty of mergers and acquisitions for banks and financial institutions. After 17 years deep finance experience as FPA, strategic planning, treasury, pricing accountant, tax, legal, engineering, finance transformation, and financial analytics in different companies and countries helped her have awareness of more than one perspective and the importance of diversity. She's also a firm believer of teamwork and synergy. Genjalp played ice hockey for 10 years and was a player of the national ice hockey team. Very impressive. As a result, she learned a lot from the team sport like concentration, discipline, hard work, and being a team player, which helped her to build her career and reach her goals. Ms. Genjalp, do you want to give us an introduction about yourself?
Thank you, Mehmet. You cover everything. I mean, you did great. Yes. I was born in Turkey and capital of the Turkey, Ankara. And I can tell the most important thing is during my university and my high school time is sport. Because of that, thank you for mentioning that. It really shapes everything. It shapes me, it shapes my career and how to look at the things in my life. So that's the most important thing about me. And I was really happy when I do that. This is the most important thing too, right? And after graduated from economics in Bilkent University, I immediately started my career. I started with PwC and then moved to Estée Lauder as accounting manager, and then moved to General Motors as a financial planning and analysis manager. And right now I'm working for Amazon as a FP&A, international FP&A manager. So we will get through the details, but I will tell you, being authentic and learning and staying uncomfortable zone will help you, I can say. And these are all helped me.
Thank you, Ms. Genjalp. Our third panelist is Mr. Cem Tekeshin. He was born and raised in Turkey and completed his bachelor's degree in economics at Gazi University and obtained his master's degree in economics from Hacettepe University, where he started his career as a research assistant. With the graduate study abroad scholarship from the Turkish Higher Education Council, he moved to the United States here in Michigan in 2013 and obtained his second master's degree in agricultural economics from Michigan State University in 2015. After graduating from MSU, he started to work as a data analyst in the International Agribusiness Group, where he continues to work today as a risk management advisor, specializing in price risk management of agricultural commodities. Cem is also a registered commodity broker and working on his PhD degree in economics at Hacettepe University. Mr. Tekeshin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Well, Mehmet, thank you for this beautiful introduction. I think you covered everything about my career. So, and I actually excited to get into questions. So thank you for inviting me. So it's a pleasure being here.
Of course. So we're now going to get into our Q&A portion where we have the 9 questions asked by a different high schooler in our group. And there's more of 9 than 9 of us, but we want to cover these questions more in depth and really, get into the flavor of the career. So without further ado, let's start with our first question from Ezgi Poyraz, Huron High School.
Hi, my name is Ezgi, and our first question for today is, what are economists responsible for in a company setting or an academic setting?
I can start. Okay. My answer is Ezgi, for you is up to you. Because this is depending how you will shape your career. Definitely economics is a good tool and will help you to see financial, organizational, marketing related and environmental issues to see in the company. But as you see, like our backgrounds, we are all graduated from economics, but look at the Mehmet, look at the Cem, look at me, right? We are all different. And because this is the beauty of the economics. When you look at the science, you can find the science in economics. When you look at the psychology and environmental issue, right, you can find it too. Because of that, if in the company, the most important thing, I guess, for myself, find what most excites to you in the company. So economics will give you this background as a science, background as a social environment, right? Because you need to see the micro and macro. You need to understand the psychology. You need to understand the social dynamics. So these are all will help you to shape it. But it depends on you. This is my answer. So, and it's hard to find it, but it's a journey. Don't worry about that one. You are not going to find one day, okay, I want it. If you're so lucky and you're so talented, but I'm still on that journey, right? I still do and experiment myself and do lots of different things to find out what most excites for me to go to work and to do the work every day. So this is the, I can tell an answer regarding your question, Ezgi. Thank you for the question. That's a great question.
Cem, you want to go ahead and answer, or do you want me to go?
Sure, I can. Yeah, I can. Second. So I think question is really good, but again, I would start with saying they're not just the economics. So when you start to study economics, you will then learn there are many subfields and you can improve yourself, not just in academic way, but also find yourself in a good area that you like to study. Actually, I haven't been in the job market for 6 years, so this also webinar gave me an opportunity to look what companies are looking for, so and what economists do in job description as well. So it varies. So depends the company that you're working for or the work that you want to do. But I think one thing that important is forecasting, and it can change which sector or which company you're working in. You can do commodity outlooks, sector outlooks, pricing, program evaluation. You can work in private in academic sector or in also government sector as well. Maybe try to solve the biggest problems of our world today, like poverty or other issues. So it depends. So economics can give you a broad range of area that you can work on. So I think that's where I would stop. And yeah, I think our professor can take from here. So.
Please enlighten us, Mehmet.
I mean, I'm going to say more specific to academia, I guess. In academia, the main responsibility of an academician is twofold. One is teaching the field that you are in our case, economics. So our faculty in the department regularly teaches every semester in the fields that they have completed their education, whether it is agriculture economics, whether it's financial economics, or inequality and poverty. So they teach classes specific to their fields. That's one part of their responsibility. And the second part of that responsibility is very much in line with what they are doing in classroom, do research. So they do research, find new things with the available data tools that are available to them, and then share these findings of their research with the students in their classroom. So their responsibilities is twofold, but they are very much interconnected to each other.
I'm going to add something from myself here. That's great because you can see all that different aspects of each of us, right? And definitely Mehmet is an expert economics in in his field. But what I can say from the business life, so I started my career in audit company. I did tax, right? I did bank and institution. So I have a capital market license, so I can be broker. So, and then I moved to Estée Lauder as accounting manager. So I'm managing all the accounting activities and legal. And also then I moved to General Motors as a FP&A manager. That means strategic planning of the company, pricing, treasury, right? These are what my responsibilities in General Motors. And then project management, new project, analytics, right? Financial analytics. So the economics will give you to see all these aspects in your university time, right? When you get these classes, the statistics will help you, micro will help you, like psychology, social environment. These are all gonna help you as a tool, but you are the one to shape it, which way you wanna go. You can stay in academic perspective as well, right? In the university, that's really cool. And you can also go to the business and do different stuff to find out what you excites most. So these are, so don't restrict yourself, right? Don't restrict yourself. Just, I graduated economics and I should do this. No, that economics will give you very different aspects of each department or segment or academy, up to you. Because of that, I said I give a little bit high level explanation at the beginning, I guess. Because of that, I'm adding this. When I'm saying up to you, you can choose all these path which is most used for you. Economics will be your tool to shape them.
Thank you so much. Our next question is from Daphne.
Oh, hi, I'm Daphne, and my question is, what has influenced you to build a career in the field of economics?
Who would like to start first?
Shall we do the same order?
Okay.
You start and Jem do it, and I can.
Okay. Okay. The question was, what influenced me? Can you repeat again, Daphne? Sorry.
What influenced you to build a career in the field of economics?
Okay. That's cool. So when I was in high school, I really liked the science, physics, and math. But I'm also very curious about the psychology as well. So before picking economics, I was between business or economics. And then I thought that So when I look at economics class, right, I thought that it was more suited for me because I like math, statistics there, right? I like to see the big picture, economics, micro there, social science there, and customer behavioral there. So all these stuff make me pick the economics. And so I want to see, I would like to focus on more the theoretical perspective as well, because when I find out in the theoretical stuff, I feel more comfortable, not comfortable, I'm more satisfied. For instance, in statistics, it's really challenged me, but this is the most, I love the statistics most in my university time, because it's improved my brain, I feel like this, right? Thinking and adding all of this. So I think this is the reason for me, especially see the theoretical side and more focus on the science and math.
So I think I will take over. So thank you.
Yes.
Okay. I think it's a beautiful question, and I wish I could come up with an inspiring story about how I picked economics, but it wouldn't be true. So because back in our time, we kind of make our choice in mid school, and it limits your choices. But what I can tell you is, in high school, I was an average student at best. But when I started to study economics, I can tell you that I was in top 10%, of course. I was good at, because the things that I study becomes really interesting. And high school, I was complaining about, well, where we are going to use this math. And you start to see where you are using it in real life. So the choice was a bit for me by luck, but I really enjoyed studying economics. That I can tell you that. So.
And my story is even sadder than Jem's story, because I was interested in economics. The year that I was entering the university entrance exam, I was very interested in economics, but I wasn't successful enough to get into an economics department. So knowing that I was interested in economics, getting into international trade was my bachelor's degree. I have taken economics classes there, and I knew from the get-go that economics was my field. So even if you are not in the field of economics, knowing that you like it, it doesn't have to be economics. If you know, or if you have a feeling that a field is appealing to you, don't give up on your dreams. I mean, I finished my bachelor's degree in economics, but I did my master's in economics. I did my PhD in economics. So what inspired me is actually the summer of that university that I was going to start my bachelor's degree, that I read a book, a book from a friend's father's book. So I happened to have that economics book, and for leisure, I was just starting to reading about supply and demand. And I'll be honest with you, I think you might have a question related to this, but we were not exposed to economics in high school when we were growing up in Turkey. So we didn't have economics as an AP credit in Turkey. So at least for us, we were very proficient in math, as Özge said. We were very proficient in geography and history or sciences, but we didn't have that exposure to economics in the high school. It just developed. It's how it started to grow in me with that book, and then taking classes in college, I guess, helped me to decide to further my education in economics.
Thank you. And the next question is from Khan Atak from Northville High School.
Hi, I'm Khan, and my question is, do you think teaching students the basics of economics in their sophomore year is good? Do you think it should be earlier or later?
Okay. You know, I was really glad to get experience regarding the sports or second language or my internship rather than my courses, I can tell you guys. So you can take in your second class or third class, whatever, right? It will help you because you definitely need to understand the concept and this is your tool. As I said, you cannot move with your tool. But the most important, I think, in my opinion, personally, just prepare yourself, right, to learn more, to improve more, and be authentic, be yourself. So high school will help you to shape it. So economics will help you to shape it. All the things that you learn will shape you. Sports will shape you, instrument, right, will shape you. Second language will shape you. I think, as I see here, you are so lucky because you have a second language in your house, hopefully, right? This will help you at least, and you can learn Spanish and German on top. I don't mean only but these are help your mindset, right? To see the different aspects, to see the different perspectives, to learn more. So economics will be one of them. Math will be one of them, right? Science will be one of them. In the other classes, what you like most. And playing piano is one of them, maybe. I mean, up to you totally. So these are all will shape you to find yourself and be authentic yourself. And regardless of you can take economics first or second, you will be good. Don't worry about this. But definitely you need your tool. But so for instance, during the university time, I can definitely recommend to you to do lots of internship, to meet lots of people, right? Different environments, learn more. These are the most important things, and prepare yourself to the business life or your working life. I can tell. So Jim, maybe you can add something more.
Okay, no, it's a great start. What I can add maybe, so first of all, I'm not familiar with the high school system here. So, and if I interpret the question, it may be a good idea, maybe make it like an elective course, because there's always trade-off. You have, I know, tons of courses. So at what expense? If it's just your interest, maybe that's a choice, but if you reduce others, I don't know, I would leave that question to education experts. But what I can tell you is having classes about economics maybe give you an awareness of what's going on in the economy and follow the maybe markets, not especially stock market, but like currencies, interest rates, which I think can give you more benefit about financial literacy. And I think which is important if you plan to become financially independent person in the future, which we all do. So yeah, that's I think what I can say. So Mehmet, yeah. Professor, I'm leaving it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with both Özge and Cem. As high school students, taking an economics class for AP credit always helpful. First, you can transfer that credit to your major, or even if you are not majoring in economics. But more importantly, as Cem said, it gives you some sort of financial literacy. Managing your own finances is one aspect of economics, but also understanding how people are making their decisions and how they behave certain way is being built on those early classes that we teach students, how they understand other people's behavior economically. So my recommendation is, if you have an opportunity, you should certainly take advantage of having an economics class in your high school, early, late. I mean, I don't know, sophomore or in your senior year of high school. It's always good to have some exposure to economics, in my opinion.
Thank you.
I would like to add more stuff from myself. When you think, when you learn economics, this is the beauty of the economics. It will not stay in the class only, right? You can expand this to your life, your daily life. Everything what you read or what you do, when you go to work as a part-time, you will see that too, right? So it's a life thing. It's in your daily life. So when you learn the theoretic things, you need to also merge with this in your daily life. Okay, wow. So my daily life also economic works, right? This, and when I'm shopping, right? Or when I go to the store and see the people or demand, like this stuff. So you can make a connection between your class. It shouldn't be only stay in your class. You can see also and in your daily life as well.
One thing I just want to clarify before I give it back to you, Khan, is when you say AP, are you referring to AP classes like advanced placement or that like the college credit courses that we do in high school, or is it something else?
That's the college credit courses, yes.
Okay, because a lot of us are very familiar with that, and some of us are probably taking AP economics. So just to clarify for the audience, so Khan, you can continue.
So thank you. Next, we have Elida from Stevenson High School.
Hello, my question for you guys is, what's one aspect you found most challenging when entering the workforce?
Okay, 17 years ago, when I graduated, I took the offer from PwC on my graduation date, and I was so excited. And I think I felt really I know stuff. So I'm very comfortable, you know, just when I started the work and I realized I don't know anything, right? Because you have the theoretical things, right? You have your tools. Now, this is the time, connect with your business, connect with your life, right? Business life in your company, in your role. So I think the most challenging thing is you don't know where to start and feel you don't know anything. That's cool, because this is the way that you're getting motivated, right? To work more, hard work, right? And learn more and experiment yourself. So the opportunity and the challenge at the same time, I think this is the most challenging thing when I started to my first career. And I remember my first day, oh my God. Just because before coming from the campus to business life, it's really different environment. But I'm lucky because I started in PwC. So it's a homogeneous environment and like an extended campus, right? Because people all the same background and same age. So it was a good start for me. I was lucky. Jem, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you have a really great point about, I think the most difficult thing is first figuring out what you really want to do, and then probably go for that direction. But so I started here 6 years ago in private sector, and you guys have much more opportunity than us. So start here high school, you know the system. And by the time you graduate, you may have offers already if you do also internship as well. So I think in all jobs there are challenges. Probably high competition is the other thing. So you have to improve yourself. But I think that's all. So you have to, I would focus not just classes, but try to also see your passion and in which field you like to study, because there are many options, and sometimes too many options is perplexing and you can't make a choice. So I think difficult thing is making a choice. So I will leave it here then. So Professor Yaya, back to you.
I mean, I think for me at least, the most challenging part is the transition from being a student to being someone who's responsible, having more responsibility on what you do on your daily lives. So as a student, you were studying, you were taking exams, and you were trying to pass classes and complete a degree. Once you do that and having a full-time job, then you become responsible on those who are trying to achieve the same goals that you are trying to achieve. So rather than trying to achieve that grade or that degree, you are in a position to grant those degrees, grant those grades to the student. So it completely changes your role in this labor market. From being on the demand side, you are becoming on the supply side of the things. And that comes with additional responsibilities, some burdens on each and every one of us. I mean, so that was the difficult part for me to grasp or wrap my head around, understanding the roles, understanding the changing dynamics between being a student and being a teacher or being a professor or doing your research by yourself is the tough transition, in my opinion, that you should be all prepared when you graduate with these degrees.
Thank you so much. And our next question is going to be from Burak Arslan from Novi High School.
So hi guys. So my question is, when you guys got your degree, like when you received it, where did you start working first? Like, straight out of college.
Yeah, I think I touched base this one on previous question. I started my career in PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, is an audit company. I started in tax department. It's so how I picked this, it's a little bit question, because when I was in university, all summer times, I always make internship to find out what I want to do, right? After the university, what I would like to do. So what is the most suits for me, what I want to do more, right? So, and every time I went to university, the internship, and once in Financial Times in London, and I started with the cosmopolitan company with different background and different environment. And I said that I should work with like this international company. And in this London Bridge, I saw the PricewaterhouseCoopers building. It was so high in all glasses, and just was so charismatic for me. And I said that to myself, I'm gonna start in PwC. Really, seriously, this is my decision. And then I support myself for this decision because I can see lots of different companies. I can meet lots of different people because these are going to be my clients, right? I'm going to work with them. I'm going to understand their environment. I'm going to find out and know them better, different people, different background. So because of that, I started my career in audit company. Yes, Jem, what do you think?
So yeah, I'm next. So I started my career as research assistant after having my bachelor's degree during my master's back in Turkey in Hacettepe University. But in private sector, after coming here US, I started working in International Agribusiness Group. It's a small company. So I think what I can contribute to this question is working in small versus big companies. I know we always hear PwC or other auditing companies or Google or Amazon. So that might be one of the goals, but working in small company also gave me some advantage that you may not find working in big companies. Like you have full responsibility, but you're also recognized because you see your impact directly recognized by the management. So, and I am still working in the same company, my 6th year. So things are going good. So again, I wouldn't just focus the big names, but if you find a good opportunity that will give you career development, that I would also consider that option as well. So, and I will leave it here. So, Professor, yeah.
So, Eastern Michigan is my first and so far the only job that I have held after getting my PhD. One thing that I need to let all our high school students that mobility is very limited in academia. I'm talking specifically for economics. I think there was a scientific study showing that average number of jobs that a PhD in economics hold is 1.2. So many people actually go and get their jobs and stay there for their entire careers. So you need to ask yourself whether if you are going to be an academician, say in economics, will you be okay with your initial placement? Because more likely that you are going to stay in that job for your entire time. Now, is mobility impossible? Not necessarily. People move from one job to another, but it is much more limited. I mean, Jem said he has only one position, but I don't think it's very difficult to move from one job to another. But in academia, and Özge the same, right? Özge, you had several different positions up until you come in here. In academia, moving from one position to second is difficult, not only in terms of how much it takes to move from one location to another, but with the tenure system that they implement at the universities. Other institutions are not interested in hiring someone who has hold a tenure, a lifetime job security in one institution, and give the same person that job security in another institution. So when you are making that decision, again, it's maybe not directly related to economics, but in academia, job mobility is very limited, and that should be one of those things that you should consider yourself. I mean, I'm sure many of us would like to move to jobs in better weather than Michigan, California. Florida would be a nice position. And Jem can easily look for a job in California or Florida if he wants to move, seriously consider moving. And it might be much easier than an academician like myself to move to a different institution in those areas. So that's my little bit of advice for you guys.
All right, thank you guys. And our next question is from Ozan Uyulur from Huron High School.
Hi, my name is Ozan Uyulur, and my question is, how long have you guys been an economist, and what are your what do you guys do on a day-to-day basis?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Wow. Tons. So as I said, after your graduation, you shape your career, right? What you want to do, as Jem and Mehmet mentioned. So regarding what you pick, so regarding my career, right, I'm working right now as FP&A manager. So I also like to lead projects as well. So right now, I'm leading 2 projects end to end. So project management, I can give you what I'm doing. It seems different from economics, but no, it shapes, right? I adding them up. And project management right now, what I'm doing. I'm also helping the countries to plan and forecast their financials. So I'm giving them advice, and I'm a little bit leading them. And this is my current job. My previous job, so I'm, for instance, leading the pricing. I'm managing the pricing for the company. So I work with the marketing and sales team very closely and put together proposals to the, for instance, in Turkey, car, right? We are proposing the price of the car. And I'm leading this with the marketing and sales team because they need to get the aspect from the financial perspective, profitability perspective. And they also target to sell more. So we need to find a balance. This is a pricing. And the other thing is treasury. So I work with banks. I try to find the most optimum investment for the company at that time, also managing the risk. And the other thing is managing the forecast of the company, budget of the company, including 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years planning. And the other thing is strategic planning of the company. For instance, upcoming vehicles. I'm managing their 15 years budget. So when we launch the vehicle, they have to pre-work and afterward. And after we launch it, we need to get money, right? This is the main purpose of the selling the car. But it's not that easy. So, and what else I do? Accounting. So I was managing the retail stores and make them to find automated accounting system because it's so fast growing company, Estée Lauder. It's a retail company, cosmetic company. So you need to find a solution to help them the accounting perspective. And legal, I'm looking for all the legal agreements and make sure they're accurate in applicable for our company from the legal and finance perspective. And what else? So engineering finance, right? I help them the business cases. So these are all the things you can choose to do in your daily life or job. But again, you own it. Economics will give you the tool or any degree or any course, right, will give you the tool, but you are the one to own it, manage it, and shape it what you want. So, and you are lucky if you picked economics, you will see variety of different aspects in your business life, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Özge. So my case is a bit well, before starting the mechanics of the daily thing. So I started as research assistant and then as data analyst. Actually, the job that I'm doing is the same, looking at data and figuring out what's going on in the economy, in the markets, or whatever the policy you are trying to analyze. So that's the same thing. I think it applies to most of the job functions that you are doing. And in my specific case, because I'm kind of working in a niche market in agricultural commodities, I have to look at different things like from weather forecasts, weekly, daily reports, price actions, reading other analyst news, trying to kind of stay afloat with all these new flows and get the feeling of the market and try to forecast what's going to be price of corn, soybeans, and wheat for me. So each day I'm looking at prices, trying to spare some additional time to create commodity outlooks in the next 3-6 months, next year, and all these other factors, currencies, interest rates. So you have to keep following these essential things for my job in daily basis. So I will leave here. So Professor, yeah.
So I mentioned how the academicians spend their time. I mean, they generally teach a couple of classes per semester and they do their research. And I'm no different. I have been working at Eastern Michigan for 10, 11 years, and I have been regularly teaching classes, mostly in labor economics. I teach topics related to racial inequality and income inequality, discrimination, and any topic that is directly related to labor economics over the years. I also teach classes in international trade, so that's another area of interest for me, coming from my undergrad degree, and my research also is in line with that. So it's a good mesh. Other than teaching, of course, for our day-to-day responsibilities also involve doing some research. A couple of research ideas that I am currently working on is one related to immigration enforcement laws. You might have heard about how immigration has shaped or changed over time in the United States, how Trump administration has strengthened the immigration enforcement policies, giving the ICE some extra power to implement to protect the borders, and how it's changing over time. So that's one of my research ideas, that I'm looking at the impact of these government policies and how it's impacting the immigrants in the United States. The other research is more current. I think everyone is aware of the COVID-19 and what I'm looking at, the impact of the labor market, impact of the COVID, specifically related to how this COVID spread can be explained by the prior health decisions of those individuals who are getting, and how the government policies implemented, whether they are closing the non-essential businesses for business, fast mask mandates, emergency declarations of states, and how these government policies impacted the spread of these COVID-19. So these are the types of research that I do. Now, in the last year, I am also becoming more of an administrator. So they reduced my teaching responsibilities to some extent. So I'm doing some scheduling, nothing related to economics, but trying to figure out who's teaching what classes in the next semester, and personnel matters. So that's how a daily life of an academician is, I guess. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you guys. Next is Mehmet Tascioğlu from Northville High School.
Hello again, and my question for you all is, have you invested in stocks yourself, and if so, were your efforts successful?
Yeah. This is, you don't believe, I have, as I said, advanced capital market license, but I never interested to do that because I started investing stocks last year because you need time, right? You need to follow the news. You need to follow what's going on in the market. What's the expectation? You know, what is going to be the forecast and other also mathematical dynamical, right? And if you want to invest, you need to look at the company's income sheet and like that stuff. But I started very little, just see what it will be important in near future, right? So this is my starting point. I'm not very good at, I can tell, but little bit I can see the market and I think what's gonna be the most beneficial for the in near future.
Well, I can take over, I think. So first of all, when you're a graduate student, you don't have any money to invest or play with stock market. So lately, yeah, when I start to work in private sector, I think about it. But the fact is, so there are two types of investment decision you can make, right? Maybe it's fundamental analysis and technical analysis. So in my daily job, I do fundamental analysis for commodity markets, not stock markets. So I look at commodity futures. In stock market, I spent some time, but then stopped because it was taking too much time, and I don't like just making technical analysis, but rather making fundamental. So it requires significant time if you are not gambling, of course. Or, and for commodity futures, I can't do it because we have clients from both sides, from supply and demand, and the production and consumption. So we can have fiduciary responsibility, and we can create a conflict of interest if we take a position. So that's why I can't participate in futures trading myself. So that's all.
As far as me, I have invested in the stock market. I have never been too successful about it. But again, it comes to this decision whether you want to allocate significant amount of time and your interest in these things and try to obtain some returns on the stock market or not. And I am not a stockbroker. I'm not heavily investing in the stock market. But again, being an economist is beyond investing in the stock market, understanding how the markets work, and then you can make educated decisions about your financial future. So being an economist, I think, gives me the tools to consider different options about investing and pick the option, such as whether investing in the long run rather than trying to beat the market in the short run. That being an economist actually helped me understanding how I allocate my time and my investment in the stock market. So that was the helpful
Thank
part.
you. Our next question is from Emir, who is from Northville High School.
Hello, so my name is Emir, and my question for you guys is, what skills have you found vital to your job?
Okay, I'm going to be quick because I think we have 9 minutes. So I would like to give you, we would like to give you more time for asking question. I think my vital thing, it's a hard question, but I think I can see the big picture, see the disconnects easily, and find out the solution for them, drive for the result for them. I think 3 things, right? Seeing the big picture, find the disconnects, and drive for results for me.
Thank you, Özge. So yes, what I can add is I find the job that we're doing is kind of unrevealing the truth or finding puzzle, bringing the pieces together, and you make your own analysis. So if you're good at that, then you will be successful as well. So I think having analytical mindset, paying attention to details is important to being successful in this job.
Mama, can I tell you something?
These are all valid points. And what I add is, I think in economics, we are trying to teach students to think critically. That's what I would add to this. Trying to understand how people are behaving, and those behavior are in line with their interests, their happiness. Would those decisions will lead to an outcome that makes this individual who's making the decision happy and the society happy. So that's critical thinking is an important aspect of being successful in economics, in my opinion.
Okay. We have one more question, or do you have any questions?
Emir, do you want to pass it on to the next person?
Yes. So the next person that we have is going to be Ajay.
Okay, so the last question is, what is your biggest piece of advice for high schoolers looking into a career in economics?
Yes. I'm going to repeat myself a little bit. First of all, for economics or any career, you're going to own it. You're the owner. Nobody will do on behalf of you. Because of that, you need to prepare yourself, right? Picking sport, picking an instrument. I'm not a very great student, right? But I'm a hard worker. So especially in business life, because I need to balance my life. I need to spend my life in sport and also in academic too. And I like sport most, so I spend most time there, but I'm okay with the academic part too. So this is depending on you. This is depending on what you want most, and own it, and also be authentic, right? Because you are unique. I mean, you're going to shape it, and it's going to be great, believe me. So this is my advice for you.
Yep. Thank you, Özge. What I can add is, so first, if I could go back, I would probably study more on math and statistics, because economics is becoming more and more kind of math oriented mostly. But I would also ask myself, would you rather be study more, or ask yourself, do you have soft skills or like math skills? Because I'm a shy person. Some people really good at it, can be sales or develop relationships with companies. But for me, I would study more on math. And when you go to kind of study economics in college, then I would pay attention more on statistics and econometrics probably, because if you don't go to academics, there's a growing area that I can tell is big data era. And I would consider that option as well, which requires learning software, statistical software as well. So I think there's a good big opportunity, and economists can find themselves a good position in that area. So that's all I can say.
My biggest advice to high school students would be economics is one of the oldest social sciences. So it encompasses a lot of different fields: finance, statistics, math, and all those, psychology, as Özge mentioned in the past, and data analytics. I mean, there is a lot of things that you can do within economics. And I highly urge you to consider economics as an area that you can branch out once you start studying. And a very robust degree as well in terms of the pay with the things that you can do economics. I was looking at the recent studies about the highest starting salary, highest mid-career salary, and engineerings were on the top of that list. But if you are not interested in being an engineer, one of the social sciences, I mean, economics is on the top in terms of the salary and pay. This economics actually pays you really well once you get the degree as well. So my biggest advice would be consider economics and understand that it goes, economics needs to be supported with math, and think yourself whether you like to combine this math skills with social science? If the answer is yes, you might have a career that's fulfilling and very rewarding in the future.
Well, if we still have time, I can have one question for our professor. So when I graduated, the behavioral economics was kind of hot topic. And I could recommend Thinking Fast and Slow from Kahneman, the economics award winner. So what is the current book recommendation? Do you have any for the ones interested in economics?
Someone who is going to read economics for the first time, I think an easy read and see how robust and how applicable economics is. I would recommend Freakonomics by Levin and Freakonomics are the two books that I always recommend students who are just trying to warm up to economics to see how people use these skills, tools in economics in different things in life. So those are the two recommendations I always give to my students.
Okay, does anybody else have a question they want to ask into the chat?
Hello, Mehmet. I have a question.
Yep.
I think, so if you were given another chance and you go to college, what would be your minor degree next to your economist?
That's a great question. Psychology, I can tell.
Psychology. Okay.
Yes.
Why is that?
Yeah, I would like to feed myself because I always like math and physics. So I feed myself more theoretical perspective. I would like to also feed myself other side as well as a social perspective. So definitely this will be my second thing. I'm still thinking, by the way. Okay, I'm 40 right now, but
that's pretty cool. I like that. I think I also got my answer from Jem. He was mentioning big data and statistical skills would be probably your minor.
Statistics. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I have to answer, I like Özge's answer to be very specific. I mean, you can do a behavior economics, combining economics with psychology, and it has very interesting questions that you can answer how people are behaving in certain situations, economically or non-economically. But I have to agree more with Jem. I think combining economics with math or statistics degree provides you a lot of tools that you can find jobs in different industries easily. So if you are looking at job prospects and pay and how much you are going to get paid for what you do for those private sector companies, I think statistics and math would be a good complement to economics as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much. I was going to ask another question, like, does any of you have any crypto money? But based on your investment answers, I don't think none of you has cryptocurrency in your wallet.
No, I don't.
I don't.
I don't either.
All right, cool.
You know already, Khalid,
thank you,
right?
Thank you. Say it again.
No, you know before asking. That's cool.
Yeah. I got my answers already. Okay. Just wanted to participate and thank you all and the Takam High School chapter for organizing this amazing event. We really benefit from this.
Thank you all. I'm really glad and pleasure to meet you. And it's going to be so great. I mean, you're just fresh and so shape it and own it on your own. That will be really adventure, right? It's great and experimental. So I hope it's also beneficial for you as well. And you can always reach out to me if you have any questions or anything you want to chat. Please reach out to me, and Mehmet has my contact details. Thank you, Mehmet, for arranging and organizing this. It's not easy, and that's great. Everything was great. Thanks.
Yep, of course. And I think Ms. Genjalp just gave her closing statement. Professor Yaya and Mr. Tekeshin, do you guys want to provide like a closing statement before we end this webinar?
Sure. Yeah. First, thank you for this opportunity. I really enjoyed it. And I wish all our high school young people here good luck, and you trust yourself, you can do it. So try to find what is most interesting for you and go in that direction. So good luck. And yes, as Özge said, you have my contact information, and if I can be helpful, I will gladly do it. So thank you.
Perfect. My closing statement is no different than Özge or James. We'll be happy to help any students with questions in economics field. We'll be more than happy to answer questions. But I'm just going to tell you that I'm very impressed that you are curious about different jobs, and over the months that you have been exploring different types of fields, and that's the most important step moving forward. I mean, learning about these different fields and making a educated decision on these is the most important basics of economics, right? So you are doing the right thing and keep doing this right thing, and I'm confident that you will all be successful in your careers, whatever field that or whatever industry you pick.
Thank you, President Yaya, Ms. Genjalp, Mr. Tekeshin, for attending today's webinar by Takam High School Chapter. Once again, we want to thank Takam, the organization, and the Takam Education and Outreach Committee, as well as the Takam High School Chapter Board and members, and the entire Turkish American community for pulling together to bring this opportunity to our students. And if you want to join the Takam High School Chapter or want to be involved with Takam, you can visit takam.org. And other than that, I think we can conclude the webinar. So thank you, panelists, for coming. And at this time, we're concluding the webinar.